Sound Planning Group joins me now. David, welcome back. Good to see you. So what do you think of the PCE today? How accurately does it reflect everyday inflation experiences?
Well, I like to think about inflation as kind of like managing a fire. You know, the something can be burning, it's apparent, and then it dwindles down into the coals, into the ashes. Maybe you go to sleep and your campfire dwindles down. But as soon as a good gust of wind shows up, that fire can easily be rekindled. Or you can just throw some logs on your fire in the morning if you're camping, it goes back up. So PCE just came in and it said it was cooler. It was flat. It was about 2.6 for regular PCE. And again, this is the Federal Reserve's favorite indicator. Now, I'm a little bit critical of this indicator because it's literally looking in the rearview mirror, which is kind of an interesting way to be, looking at the world is, hey, everything in hindsight, not what's actually coming at me. So I personally believe that this does not show that they're getting down to 2%. And with this rate cut that's coming, as we just mentioned here, I think that this is actually very inflationary in 4 different ways. And so we're going to see inflation actually boost back up because we have not gotten it under control like Paul Volcker had to do and just really stomp those things out like he had to do back in the 80s.
But you think the feds will still cut interest rates in September, even with this forward-looking prediction that you have?
Yeah, I do believe that they're going to cut rates in September. I mean, because they have to. Basically, unemployment's coming out. We had major revisions that just had come out with it. And so you can see the data deteriorating. We can see that the consumer right now is doing terrible. I mean, some of the new information out here today says that literally there has never been fewer homes being sold than where we are right now. And that's quite important for us to understand, given the fact that we are in a place where it's become more unaffordable to get our housing than ever before.
Yeah, speaking of unaffordable housing, a July Wall Street Journal NORC poll shows most Americans overwhelmingly want the American dream. They want home ownership. They want a family, a comfortable retirement, but only a very few believe they can achieve it now, even with hard work. Kamala Harris said strengthening the middle class. Middle class is a top priority and has also supported letting Trump's 2017 tax cuts expire. And while most benefited from these cuts, some experts argue that the biggest gains went to the top earners and still will if this law is extended. So will ending or extending these tax cuts, in your opinion, help the middle class?
I don't think it's actually a real debate. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act actually, there's some positive things to it, and then there's some things that are not as positive from my view. I think overall, though, it impacted the middle class exceptionally well, and that's not even really a conversation. What Kamala Harris is proposing right now is to change the corporate tax rate up to about 30%. She wants to take the highest income levels up. And she wants to, ultimately change the way that we have looked and viewed capital gains and unrealized capital gains. That's going to cause inflation in the real estate market. It's going to cause inflation across the board. And actually, I think you're going to see the discrepancy between those that have money and those that do not even come further apart. The only thing that she in her term has ultimately delivered is record high inflation. They have delivered record high printing. And, it's very clear what causes inflation. When Congress is printing and we have more money showing up than there are items to buy, the price of everything goes up. And so even though it shows that we're kind of cooling, we've got this temperate, inflation climate right now, we are not down to 2%. And by the way, the U.S. dollar has been stronger than it has been in recent history, which has caused us to be able to buy more with fewer dollars. As the U.S. dollar right now is beginning to go down, we're going to actually see inflation engage and go up as a result of that, too. So I think that this is politics at its very best, trying to give different ideas and thoughts out there. But ultimately, the American consumer can see that, she's got 6 more months still in office. And if she was going to do these things and they were going to make a big impact, I don't know why she's waiting.
But you have to think about, the average American voter. Maybe they're middle to lower class and they hear Kamala say, hey, I'm going to raise the taxes on the rich, the corporate people who have a ton of money. And she's going to focus on me, middle class. I mean, it sounds good. How does that not work?
Okay, so 9 out of 10 here today believe that the American dream is basically unaffordable. 90%. It's hard to get 90% of America to agree with almost anything, but we do have that. So they want to see some change. Okay, so if we take money from the rich and we do something else with it, we've tried this in society. Ultimately, this is how communism starts. It's a great idea until we run out of everyone else's money. See, what's amazing about the American dream and this thing that we've been doing here for about 250 years is that we bring our best to the table. And what this does is it causes deflation. Prices go down because innovation occurs. Competitive advantages are figured out. Collaboration occurs. Purchases are made. Capital expenditures are made. This is supply side economics, and we've seen this become the greatest nation in the world as a result of that. Now, what we've done, though, is we've elected a whole bunch of people that are just going to print and spend us into oblivion, and we forgot how to balance budgets. That's our biggest issue. I say, if you figure out term limits, I think we can get a lot of these things figured out because the smartest minds are going to have an ability to have a conversation in front of the American people. So taking money away from people, again, it sounds great. Price controls sound great. They've literally led to lines. They've led to greater inflation. They've led to shortages. This is a proven idea that we have seen played out. I don't think she actually even believes these ideas. I think that these are just kind of like different things that they're trying because they didn't actually get a primary to try these ideas out on the American public. So we're kind of an experiment right now. I think that that's very unfortunate. And I guess that we'll see some pretty interesting debates with two completely different worldview understandings as Kamala Harris here is looking to take us forward.
Yeah, looking forward to that. David Stryzewski, thanks for that insight today, CEO of Sound Planning Group. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you.